It's almost time for BlizzCon. BlizzCon. Even though this has nothing to do with that, I just thought I'd let all you people know out there what's going down tomorrow. It's fucking motherfucking BlizzCon. Right. But for now, we got to work on this commission. So I'm going to do some shading here. Get the value shade done tonight, which I didn't stream on the last one, but we be streaming it now. Hopefully I can get this done in an hour or two. Tops. It's the goal. It's the goal here, folks. See how that goes. BlizzCon. Give me a second here. We'll wait for some people to catch up. 6 people in there. Wonder who'll be first in the chat room. Wonder who will do it. One second, we're gonna start here. All right. Where shall I? Pick a fucking. Let's pick something. Hey, what's up, Daisuke? Where's my glassine? I don't think I need this much. This prevents smudging. It's better than tracing paper, folks. What's up, Ash? That up there. Hey, what's up, Armando? Well, we don't see it here. I don't see it till Saturday, so shocking. Well, it's no Eraserhead. If you like Eraserhead, man, like you like that kind of universe, you should play this game called Nascence. It's on PC. No, Nascence. Nicessence. Doesn't have an easy name. There's a link. Thanks, Brian. Getting there. Why aren't you just SOL? Well, yeah. I play it a couple times a year. I got that, that 3D setting you can add to your TV. It's like fake 3D. It's not real, but it adds some depth to it. And then, because I have my PC on my TV, and then I'll put in like the Journey soundtrack or something. But it doesn't have any music, so if you like that no music weird Lynch stuff, dude, it'll it's definitely there. This game came out like almost 4 years ago. Not quite. There's no gravity again. Yeah, it's good time. Is there any real story to a David Lynch movie? Is there any third act? Are there any real protagonists? Any real antagonists? Or is it all just light and shadow? No, you know, you get older, you see the world a different way. You know, man, I've spent enough time in film class analyzing that film that I'm done. I'm done. I did my Eraserhead time. At some point, I'll get to it. this game a while back? A while back. The digital sketch? Yeah, probably. Is it just you, or are modern supercut designed too much detail? Yeah, they're designed with too much realist details. It all happened after the Ultimates. You know, you could say the first X-Men film, they kind of started changing the X-Men costumes to the movie look, and then with the Ultimates, it was all about realistic stuff, and then eventually you get the MCU, and then now you get you know these costumes that are completely not iconic. That's why I watch stuff like Kill la Kill and My Hero Academia and Full Metal now. That's where I get my comic book designs. Like in terms of like as a fan, I get to go, oh, that's like fun. The iconic looks. I mean, I love drawing tons of details, but doesn't help for like monthly books. Yeah, well, I did too, man. But the industry changed. Now it's like I'm gonna get back into my own stuff, but commissions are commissions, man. I started out only selling original books, and that's what I did. I sold books to Image and I sold them to some independent studios, but the shift happened around 2008. I'm telling you, and it was just like you couldn't get anything done. I only got the Game Informer cover because of the Star Wars cover I did, which is really just fan art. Those video game magazines, those aren't licensed art. It's just you just pick a game to draw. These days, you go to a publisher with your own characters, they won't look at it because they don't want to get sued. You have to show them their characters. It's kind of how it works. Used to not be that way, but that's how it is now. Nope. And I don't take commissions for original characters because people just use it as a cheap way to get like basically free character design or free art books featuring their characters. Right. That's why I stay out of those conversations like on Twitter about fan art, no fan art. I'm like, just draw whatever the fuck, you know? Stop worrying about it. One guy goes, I've never done it, doesn't matter. Another guy's like, I can't, you know, this industry is weird, dude. It changes. Changes all the time, man. And they don't really tell people about the rules. You know, they never make an announcement. They just start looking at certain things. Like Marvel has the thing, you can't even submit art to Marvel. They have no submissions process. They just look for you. You know? How do you think they're doing that? It's like, do you think they're looking for just talented artists or people that are drawing their characters? They're looking for people that draw their characters. You know? It's just the way it is. Like, I personally don't care because I'm not looking for any of that work, but that's how it is. I just had a big publisher wanted me to work on a project, but I had to sit down there and produce. You know, they can't look at my art and see if I could draw. Let's it's not Smurfs, but let's say if it was something like Smurfs. I can't show them my Wonder Boy cover and say, "Hey, I could draw Smurfs. You know, here's something more fun." Or my critters. You know, and it's like, um, they can't look at. I have to actually draw their characters, and I'm like, I'm not doing free art, guys. You know. As for the whole Ed McGuinness thing, I hear you. I would say Eric used to draw more. His books are kind of really simple compared to what they used to be, you know. But I would agree with that statement, you know. But that there's reasons for that, man, you know. Like has to do with the older audience, you know. Has to do with, you know, if people can see the details, then we should pay that guy more, you know. I mean, when Eric Larson started out, dude, you know, more comics were sold every month. Manga sells across other countries, but we can't sell comics in America. So, you know, average comic book artist is making about $30,000 a year. You know, there you go. And that's, you know, full time, 16 hours a day. You know, 10 to 16 hours a day. There's just no one answer to all this. The question is, how do you navigate it? You know, I do easy stuff, make my money on easy stuff. I do commissions to give people a nice piece of art on their wall. I want people to collect art, you know? So, um, yeah. And then I'm working on, again, the book stuff. So, so I can get people invested in my own stories and whatnot. But to do that right has just taken me years to set everything up. You know, it's not gonna like I want to start it and then like 30 pages later quit. You know, and tell people, well, it's not having a big enough effect. Once I start that, I can't stop until it's done. So it's just like I've been using this time to get it set up properly and to also make my workflow so that, you know, it's all doable with one guy. Just me, you know. Sad fact is, if this were 1994, I could have a nice career in comics, mainstream, you know. But I don't fit into this ecosystem, this whatever it is, I don't fit. I've tried, man. I have done my bit. But like I was saying the other night, you know, my stuff tends to sell the least. You put out, you know, 20 covers, or you put out 8 covers, I'm one of them, mine's last. You put out 4 covers, I'm one of them, mine sells last. Like, my stuff sells the least. So, it's just the way it is. For now, that could change. I tried a couple years ago with this whole, like, I had some friends in Hollywood. They're like, well, if you just do some more realistic painting, and I gave it a shot, and I'm like, you know, I don't fucking want to do this. I'd rather go work at Walmart. Like at that point, I was like, you know, I'm out. I'm out of this. This is nonsense. Who knows, man? You know, who knows? No, I've done enough live drawing, man. I did it for years and years and years and years and years. And I did portraits and caricatures, and I just don't give a shit, man. I've done endless Bruce Lee, Jimi Hendrix, sports T-shirts for Walmart, tequila, and rendering over cars realistically. Like I just don't care. You know, I never put the shit out in my portfolio because I just don't care. You know, I don't want the work. It's like I just don't care. This stuff is fun. So you live once, man. Let's take a photograph of this. All right, let's get going here. Yeah, well, man, it's called be creative, be fun, you know? And I mean, I don't fucking know, man. I never wanted to work for the big two anyway, so I grew up with the image revolution. My first Comic Con was 1992, San Diego. Image debuted. I thought anyone at that point, from then on, was going to be able to just put out a comic and get rich. That went away, you know. And I only took so long to get going with my own stuff because by the time, 2010 rolled around and Kickstarter showed up, I was like, dude, we got to do these Kickstarter things. And I was like in student loan debt and everything else. It's like, so. One Punch Man too, as well. One Punch Man, One Punch. So you guys will see in the next year, it'll just be me doing Game Cave and these commissions and an occasional cover for like Megavisions, maybe Tom. Like that's it. So I just gotta finish up Power Prints, which luckily is gonna be in Game Cave, so there's that. But that's it. And then I can just focus on that and whatever else I conjure up. Believe me, I have plans. I just don't want to talk about it. But and there's going to be a serious like drop in viewership when I do it. I guarantee that. But I'm accepting that loss. I got about several other pieces to do, and then I can move on with the next phase of my personal career. Yeah, because of it being original stuff. But it's just the way it goes. The minute you start changing things up, people who've been following you leave. So I'll lose a grip of people, and then after a few years, I'll build up a whole new grip of people. That's the goal. I'll still have these, and then there'll be the pieces for Game Cave, because there's always going to be some art in there for the magazine part. But pretty minimal compared to what I've been doing the last few years. Hey, me too, man. I didn't want to just make it up. Like, oh, I'm making this up, and here's my thing, and that's it. We'll see how it gets. Like, I had to like do the diligence and then once you kind of figure out what it is, and I've already made it a couple times, I'm like, nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. You know, and you go, okay, this isn't perfect, but this is the foot forward I want to spend. You know, and, hey man, you look after 4 years of working on something, if you still want to fucking do it, then it says something. You know, so it's like, you're in pretty decent shape. But fun, you know, fun's the word. Fun's the word over here, folks. That's what I'll be making, fun. That's what I'm best at. Fun, but dangerous. I'd say like The Incredibles is a great example. Not in terms of content, but fun universe, but people can get murdered, you know? But you know, I took some big projects this year that were unexpected. I gave it a shot. You know, I'd be done with PowerPrints if I didn't do the game form recover, or if I didn't do, and I didn't do the Transformer stuff for certain. You know, but it's the way it works. Gave it a shot to see if it'd make a difference. You know, the answer is no. It's made no difference. So, yeah, I gotta go make a giant face Kickstarter post explaining, hey, look, I gave it a shot. You know, so I can add it to my resume. Lord knows I put forth my best efforts, but just I can't just have any more unexpected delays. So like this stuff here really wasn't even part of like my commission plan. This is to pay for that fucking convention that like those things, man, that's fucking cons, dude. So, And I could have like just like plowed through this stuff and been like, here's your commission amount. But I like, you know, it's like, man, I like quality. So it's going to take a little longer, but you get used to doing things a certain way and they get faster. So it's like I want to get to doing color pencil. I like my saucy look, and I like this like color pencil look. I like how they're completely different. So and I spent the last year figuring out how to do the lasso tool coloring technique, which, I think is paying out in dividends. So it's all working. Where's my bow, 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 bow. Let's see. Was it like, let me tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is though, dude. Right? At the very least, okay? If you stick with it, and this is no shit, I'm not gonna lie to you. If you stick with it, it is an excellent fucking side business for a lot of reasons. One, you do an extra 10, you do an extra 15 grand a year, just moving commissions, maybe selling some art books, some big paintings, go to your local coffee shop, whatever you can do, comic shop. You get a little creative, you get a $10,000 or $15,000 bonus every year. You know what I mean? On top of whatever you're doing. Now, that's going to take time out of like fucking drinking and playing video games, but you'll make a few extra bucks, right? Which is better than you're going to get, raise wise from a job. Two, you know, you end up feeling better about fucking life when you make shit, you know? It took me a long time to get to the point where I could make more than, a few $100 a year, but it is possible, you know? I wasn't born with any fucking gift, you know? And you have to like get your stuff in front of people too, you know? Then you have like a real positive, like when you go to work and people are like, "This fucking sucks. I hate my job." Yeah, but you always got something to look forward to. I mean, that's how I got through school, right? When I was a kid, come home, draw all night. And then, you got an opportunity to strike gold. You could end up doing a project that gets viral. That, you have that opportunity. Never gonna have that opportunity not doing it. You know, it's kind of like playing the lotto in a way. Are the odds, in your favor? Probably not, but you got the opportunity. You know. But I get it. What happens? You get a little older, and then you're like, oh, I got a kid. There's no time. You got time. You got time. You just do less. I'm telling you, you got time. Maybe not as much at first, and then later you got time. My dad had plenty of fucking. He had 3 kids in the house. He had plenty of fucking time to do other shit. You know. I've seen some of my older friends make excuses while they're sitting on their fucking couch, thinking they gotta like entertain their kid. I'm like, you don't have to entertain your kid. You know. My buddy, my buddy Ray is his art director, man. He's got 5 daughters. All right, he makes music and he fucking draws and he art directs, man. You know, and he works out, dude. He's like super fucking in shape. Like he's got the fucking time. We all got the time. That's how I always look at it. Like, there's always someone out there hustling more than you or me, right? So trick is to find out the difference between hustling and burning the fuck out, which you want to be very careful about, you know? And I hit burnout, like that feeling, man, when I work on fucking like real projects for other companies, man. Because I put in a lot of effort and, there's just not a lot of payout and I've never hit fame or anything. There's just, I don't know what the fucking reward is, you know? I'm like, I could just do this on my own. I could draw Optimus Prime any fucking way I want. Why am I doing this and taking shit from the actual community that doesn't want me, on their fucking books anyway? I don't need this trouble. Yeah, I got the time. I watched my father pass away, you know. Thought about all the fucking times he had time. And I would talk to him, like, my dad used to really worry about me, especially because my mother, the genetics weren't that great, but so he put me in charge of everything. But he'd sit around a lot. He'd tell me, I'd sit in my room and cry and wonder if you're going to make it in life. And I was like, well, if you'd gotten to know me, you would have known that, I was into nothing but heroic shit, Ghostbusters, Batman, Star Wars. Like, I was like, all you had to do, Dad, was we lived right next to the park. I'm like, Dad, you could have just gone to the park, thrown the football with me, got to know me, and you wouldn't have had to worry. But he only worried because he didn't know me. He's like, well, I didn't think I had the time. I'm like, you sat in your room crying. You had the fucking time. Dad, if you're gonna sit in your room crying, then you got the fucking time. Dude, you just spending it sitting in your room crying. Like, that's not helping anything. You know? While I was doing the dishes and shit. Wonderful. You know? And that's some real shit right there, dogs. I don't get any more real than that. Goddamn staples. I don't mean the store, I mean these literal staples in the book. Pain in the ass. It's a shitty job anyway. But I hear you. It's still a job, man. They're on their way out of business anyhow, man. Sad to say. Unless they pull out a giant reversal. Yes and no. Yes and no. Big box stores, yeah. Smaller, nimble things, nope. This one giant store that never has what you need concept is it's not working. But Best Buy actually reversed their fortunes a few years back. They did some smart shit, but I don't know how long it took. They're like the exception. It's like furniture, man. I don't like buying furniture on the internet, man. I'd rather just go and try some shit. Later, dude. All right, everybody. Value shade's done. I'll start the coloring tomorrow or the day after. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna try 2 hours a day because I gotta get this. I gotta get this Megavisions cover done. That's gonna eat up all of my work time here. So I figured it'd take about 2 hours fairly comfortably, and that's exactly how long it took. So right on point. All right, everybody, I'll be back on fairly shortly to start working on the Megavisions cover, which I'm already behind on. Perfect. I love being late. All right, everybody, thanks for hanging out. Armando, Psycho, Tiggs. Who else we got? Hector, Daisuke, Ashbrain. Boom, we got y'all. Okay, I'm out of here. Peace.